Some Friday night football this evening from Seaside, California. East meets West as the Pittsburgh Riverhounds head to California to take on Monterey Bay FC. Tonight's match from Cardin Alley Stadium is presented by Taylor Farms. With the former Manchester United goalkeeper Gary Bailey, I'm Josh Eastern. Thanks so much for being with us here tonight. A great evening for some soccer, and first we'll start with the Eastern Conference standings. Pittsburgh, both these teams sitting in the 6th spot in their respective standings heading into the night.
Yeah, and it's a great position to be in because you can go up, also you can go down, so got to be careful. Tampa Bay Rowdies just behind Pittsburgh, but a win would see Pittsburgh shoot right up into that 4th spot, and that's what they'll be looking for tonight.
And on the other side, Monterey Bay also in that 6th spot, but it's a little bit tighter here in the West.
It is, and again, they have good teams chasing them. Phoenix Rising right behind, then Oakland Roots and New Mexico United. So once again, they have to get points. They have to climb their way up. But same thing as with Pittsburgh. A win, 3 points, and suddenly they're sitting in 3rd position. That's the value of winning games as opposed to drawing them.
Looking at some players to watch tonight for Monterey Bay. How about Alex Dixon playing against his former team from the last few years?
Yeah, well, this was in the opening game against Hartford. He got a hat-trick. A little bit of poor defending that he pounces on there, but it's a mixture of goals he gets. That one is a sort of a pressure one. This one's a header. Glasser with the cross. He gets the head in and gets his 2nd, and he pops up with the 3rd from the penalty spot, and he's now top of the US goal scorers charts at the moment. This was 3 in the opening game, 3 since. He's sitting on 6 goals.
And on the other side, another leading goal scorer with 5 so far this year, Dalbert Dikwa.
Yeah, he's sitting in 2nd spot. This one of a hat-trick of goals against Memphis in a 3-1 win. He's very sharp up front. Started the season in great form. Sits off the shoulder of the centre-backs and looks for balls over the top. And that one there just hits his chest and goes in against RGV in a 2-0 win. Did so well just to angle his chest and get enough power on that ball.
So we are all set to go. For the first time ever, it is Monterey Bay and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. We are looking forward to this one tonight. Lineups and first kick from Cardin Alley Stadium coming up next.
Coastal Roots Hospitality is a proud partner of the Monterey Bay Football Club. Coastal Roots Events and Catering, along with its 3 iconic restaurants, Montrio, Tarpe's, and Rio Grill, invite you to pick it up and pay it forward, where 10% of all proceeds from takeout orders are donated to various local charities. Their catering service and restaurants utilize local farms, butcheries, and ocean fresh sustainability-driven seafood to deliver unique and exemplary dining experiences. For more information, visit coastalrootshospitality.com.
Teams making their way out onto the field tonight. It is Monterey Bay and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, presented by Taylor Farms. Let's take a look at tonight's starting lineups. We'll start with Frank Yallop's Monterey Bay side, and a few changes here for him.
Yep, 4 changes to the team that were held 0-0 in the last match against RGV. In come Rebela, Jason Johnson, James Murphy, and Alko Yoseki, Chase Boone, Sam Gleedle, and there's one other as well. Hugh Roberts out and Alex Lara in. So 4 changes, mostly due to injury.
And Jason Johnson will get his first start of the season for Monterey Bay. On the other side for Pittsburgh Riverhounds, welcome back to Danny Griffin, who will get the start tonight.
Yes, yeah, his first game of the season, and his last match was the end of last season. So he's in, Pat Hogan's in, and Trevor Zwetsloot is in as well. Out go Joey Farrell, Mark Ibarra, and Edward Key. So they're playing a 5, like a 4, but a diamond. The head of that diamond will be Mertz, and sitting deep on that diamond, Zwetsloot.
There is Bob Lilly in his 6th season as Pittsburgh head coach. And how about this? This is the latest Pittsburgh kickoff time since August 16th of 2014 when they took on Arizona United. So those in Pittsburgh, thanks for staying up late with us tonight here on ESPN+. There's our referee, Corbin May, blows his whistle, and we are underway. Both teams in their familiar colors, black and yellow for Pittsburgh and all blue for Monterey Bay. The 3rd of 4 games across the USL Championship on this Friday night. And it's Cinco de Mayo. We had a mariachi band here pregame at Cardinale Stadium. Everybody getting into the spirit here tonight. We're hoping we have some goals to watch as well as Valesky is in. And Valesky, what is this going to be? And they're going to say Valesky had a handball there. He just caught it after it came off of Jamali Waite.
What a chance this is as well. Let's have a long ball through, and you can see Ordonez is trying to get the ball. It does hit his hand, and Ordonez appeals immediately. Just comes off his hand. If it's so unlucky because it comes off his chest or something, mind you, having said that, Jamali Waite made the save anyway.
Well, that is how Monterey Bay likes to play. We saw in that game against New Mexico a few weeks ago how direct they can be. This is a Monterey Bay team that has scored the most goals in the league coming into play tonight, but they have also conceded the 4th most with 12. So when you watch a Monterey Bay game, you're pretty much due for a few goals on either side.
I think you're due for a goal from Valesky as well. 5 in the last 6 in all competitions. He's in real brilliant form at the moment. And it is, just on your point, it is an excellent attack, the best attack in the USL against the best defense in the East. So it really is going to be a clash of styles. We know Bob Lilly and how well organized his teams are, how difficult they are to break down. And in all his matches in charge, they still concede less than a goal a game, which is just an incredible stat over all the years in which he's been in charge of Pittsburgh.
And for this Pittsburgh side, coming off the 1-1 draw against Indy 11, it was Dikwa who got the lone goal in that game. They scored first, and Bob Lilly said they started well, but he said they've really struggled trying to find that second goal in games and really trying to put the games away. He said on that day, they just couldn't make it happen. It was a good goal that Indy scored at the end of the day from Jack Blake, and Siaha collects, but he said we need more of that killer instinct, so maybe that's something they can find here tonight if they can get that first goal. But that's also something Frank Yallop said. They want to get the first goal of this game. A foul there in the middle.
Well, certainly for Pittsburgh, you have to say, when you lose Russell Cicerone and Alex Dixon, who they've actually lost to Monterey Bay, that for Bob Lilly, you're losing 2 of your best strikers. Now, Dikwa's stood up and been counted superbly this season, but it's all on him. There's not much coming from anybody else. If he's not scoring, I think of the 8 goals, he's scored 5. That means the rest of the team have contributed 3 goals. Not enough. So that's why he said, I need to push Kenny Forbes higher up in this. I need to get Robbie Mertz higher up. Those are the players that we can get goals from as well.
That's the 5 goals from Dikwa, and that's almost halfway to his total from last year when he scored 11, and that was a career high for Albert Dikwa. A chance to potentially grow on that here in 2023. And all the way back to Jamali Waite. And it's turned over. It'll be fair. We'll turn this out wide. Donor trying to get the return. Rebelar got a touch to it. Just like that, Pittsburgh win it back.
I have to say that Monterey Bay are becoming a serious player in the USL now because of the quality not only on the pitch, but they've taken a number of players out mostly due to injury. the likes of a Sam Gleadle, a Chase Buhner, Hugh Roberts, and yet in comes Jason Johnson. Look at the quality there. A Rebelar, Murphy, Alex Lara. It's that quality coming off the bench that allows you to rotate throughout the season, and they look like they should make the playoffs and could go quite a bit further as well.
Robinson, a good recovery run, and to that point, also on the bench tonight, Simon Dawkins and Sean Ugo Akoli, both of them have yet to make an appearance in 2023 for Monterey Bay. And of course, it was Akoli signed just a few weeks ago on April 20th. Dawkins coming off an injury, but two big players that can factor in, no doubt, into this attack. Here's Robinson. Gonna bring it in field for Valesky. It was cut off. Trying to move it out wide. Robinson slipped. Dikwa was after it. It's a throw-in coming for Pittsburgh, and Forbes trying to go quickly. Dikwa tries to cut it in. He goes down, and no whistle from the referee.
Robinson quite busy on that left-hand side, and he was asked before this game about Pittsburgh. He said, look, we never played against them, but you hear plenty about them. They're a tough team. It's a 90-minute battle. He said we were a little bit of a letdown against RGV in the first half, coming off that San Jose Earthquakes win. Oh, there's trouble.
It's Valesky, a sliding challenge put in by Hogan just to break that up for the time being, but Valesky really starting this game well for Monterey Bay.
As he has for most of the recent games, Valesky, but just in that Grant Robinson saying that we didn't have a good first half against RGV, we got better second half. He said we're going to come out quickly in this match and have a go at Pittsburgh, and that's exactly what the intention is so far from Monterey Bay.
And it is 2 straight clean sheets for Monterey Bay in all competitions, against San Jose and against RGV. So moving in the right direction, maybe you'd think defensively, and also Anthony Siaha gets the starting goal in favor of Carlos Herrera, who has been in and out of the lineup. Hasn't been a consistent goalkeeper, but Siaha is back after a few games out.
I thought he did very well against San Jose Earthquakes, made some good saves and dominated the crosses in the air. That's what he brings to the party, Anthony Siaha, in terms of everything else. He's a good goalkeeper, but he's 6'5" or thereabouts. When he comes for crosses, he's positive, he's confident, and defenders love it when a goalkeeper just comes in, clears out a high ball. It saves them a lot of problems that they would otherwise have to deal with.
And Frank Yallop said it was good for him just to kind of sit and clear his mind, and now he's back. And as you mentioned, those saves against San Jose were crucial in getting that cup set win over the Earthquakes. There's Fair and Donor trying to get the return ball from Rebelar. Comes all the way into the corner. Pittsburgh will have to play this out. It's turned over. Murphy for Robinson. Robinson has ideas, and that one's blocked down again by Hogan. Another throw-in coming here for Monterey Bay.
I think something with the boots there for Moridano. He's pointing to his toe. I think there's a lace loose there on the side of his boot.
He's trying to tuck it in, keep on moving.
Snazzy designs on the side of his boot.
It's all about style these days, Gary.
Are you saying it wasn't back in the day?
No, those all black ones with just the logo of the brand. Those are the ones that guys wear if you just want to turn back the clock a little bit nowadays. Just like those.
It's retro, is it?
A little bit.
Something retro that listeners might not know, but goalkeepers were only allowed to wear green back in the day.
Green shoes.
No, sorry,
Oh,
green shirt.
Green shirts.
Yeah, that was it. There was no other color. It wasn't like you could pick and choose. Oh, yeah, giving away a corner there unnecessarily.
To that point, though, the grass is green, the goalkeeper's green. They could have picked any other color. Orange, blue.
If you're talking Manchester, the ground was generally brown. It was mud and rain. There wasn't much grass on the pitch back in the day.
Fair enough.
But yeah, valid point.
And this is the first corner kick of the game coming for Pittsburgh. Let's see what they can do from it. It is Robbie Mertz who will stand over it. His 4th season with the Riverhounds. Mertz, driven ball in. Immediately headed clear. Pittsburgh, though, trying to keep this alive. Biasi up for it. Now Rebelar trying to get this away. Forbes. Canardo Forbes, just a bouncing shot that will end up out of play.
I think it was Moby Fair who got the header at the near post and then hooked it clear as well. So doing some great work. Of course, Forbes always a massive danger around the edge of the box. And such a quality player, even as the years tick on. 34 years old now, the Jamaican, but still you don't want to give him a chance of shooting from anywhere within 30 yards.
I think for the opponents, this want to keep him off the ball, period. Of course, the USL assist leader as well. And he continues to get it done. And such a cool story, of course, starting in the indoor league, some time with the Rochester Rhinos previously under Bob Lilly. A really unique footballing journey for Canardo Forbes, the Jamaican. King Kenny, as they call him. Lofted down the line. Donor not able to keep it in play. Throw into Pittsburgh. It's a Pittsburgh team that started the season unbeaten in their opening 4 games, 2 wins, 2 draws, but over these last 5, 2-2-1. A couple of wins against RGV and the Maryland Bobcats in the Open Cup, and that is what has gotten them into the next round against the New England Revolution.
As you said, a bit of a different story with Monterey Bay, unbeaten in 6, 4 of those wins. Really is a team on the up and up, and yet having said all that, still only in 6th position in the West. And they do need more wins, more 3-pointers to keep climbing that ladder. It's a very tough, I think we've said it 101 times, but what a tough league. And you know, when you've got so many other good sides, San Diego, Colorado, San Antonio, you can go on and on. You've got to play really well and take points off as many teams as you possibly can, because it's going to be a tough one to qualify, certainly to qualify with a home match.
The good thing about this Monterey Bay team, they can score in those last 6 games. 3 of them, they've scored 3 or more goals. And then we also mentioned the 2 clean sheets in back-to-back games as well. So they went on a big unbeaten run towards the latter part of last season, and maybe if they can get that run early on, they can put themselves in a spot to really play from ahead instead of trying to chase points like they were at the end of last year. They went through a brutal stretch of schedule. As Lara was fouled by Dikwa, free kick to Monterey Bay.
You do, I think most neutrals would fancy Monterey Bay to make the playoffs just because of the quality and the depth they have. There's that ball over the top. And as he goes to clear it, Lara, there's a little bit of contact with Dikwa. Immediately the centre-back is appealing to the referee. But ahead of Monterey Bay, San Antonio, San Diego, El Paso, Colorado, and Sacramento Republic. I mean, and then right behind you got Phoenix Rising, New Mexico got a 2-2 draw tonight in their away match. Oakland Roots, who could still possibly come good, and so it goes on. So I think if you're Frank Yallop, you just know that, as you, to your point, you can't fall behind and hope you can chase. You've got to get ahead of it. You've got to be up there with the front runners as much as you can, and just buy yourself a little bit of grace in case you get a lot of injuries or in case the luck goes against you towards the end of the season.
Now it's Pittsburgh streaming forward. Mertz tries to cut it in, keeps it moving, and just trying to slide that through for Forbes, but Ordonez's pass off the mark.
Ordonez doing well to push up there from that centre-back position, and he's a quality player out of the back. Has that ability to pass the ball accurately. Robbie Mertz back again, and such a threat as always, but not quite sure why Canardo Forbes didn't actually make the run, because it seemed to be the right thing to do, but maybe he'd already come back looking for the ball. And that's something that Bob Lilly has said, a few too many of his players coming back looking for better opportunities when they have a chance just to whip the ball into the danger area.
Player down here is Dos Santos. It was Dixon who had some contact there with Dos Santos. See it again here.
More of a shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
There was a connection with the head after the shoulder. Let's have a look here. Shoulder. Yes, it does it. It sort of slides over the top of his shoulder and cracks him on the side of the head, which is never a pleasant feeling. Seeing a few stars there and a bit of a shake of the head, but I'm sure he'll be fine.
Santos in his second season with Pittsburgh, out of Marshall on that 2020 title-winning team. It's touched ahead, Valesky. This is when Monterey Bay is at its best, but not able to find Johnson in space down the near side. Sliding challenge by Rebellard. He looked like he was pushed off the ball, and indeed he was. Biasi, maybe frustration foul.
Does so well to get the ball here. Yes, there is two hands, not even one hand.
Get out of my way.
You can try and be subtle with one hand, but just earlier in that, Valesky turns in a great position, then puts a poor ball in. It's an important moment. Oh, trouble.
It's Forbes, he leads the break. Dequa's up ahead. Forbes for Albert Dequa, scores! Just like that, Pittsburgh is on the board first. And Dequa continues his goal-scoring ways. 1-0 Riverhounds.
Given away in the midfield by Monterey Bay and absolutely punished in style, which Albert Dequa has been doing game in and game out. He now goes joint top of the goal scorers charts for the USL and gives us a bit of a dance along with the way. But King Kenny there benefiting from the turnover in midfield. Alex Lara losing the tackle to Conrado Forbes, and he's got his head up, runs at the defense, commits him, and then just lays it off through the goalkeeper's legs. Good finish there from Albert Dequa. Watches the keeper come towards him and just puts it between his big legs there, Anthony Siaha. But you can't blame the keeper, not much he can do. He's just got to come out and throw his body at it. But the turnover, Alex Lara, if you can't win the ball, just stay on your feet. He doesn't. But credit to Conrado Forbes for the win of the ball and the assist.
Dequa now up to 6 goals on the season. He's more than halfway to his career-high goal-scoring total from last year with 11. And he just continues to get it done. And Gary, we talked about in the open how much it's just been Albert Dequa, but if he can get the job done, then more power to him. And Pittsburgh able to get that goal here early on the road, coming out to California. And of course, it's Conrado Forbes on the assisting end of that goal.
I'm just amazed that a strong defender like Alex Lara going into a 50-50 doesn't get the ball, doesn't get part of the ball, and Conrado Forbes, you know, maybe a less tough, more of an artisan in midfield or a creator, comes away with the ball. To me, as a centre back, you've got to get ball or some part of the ball or some part of the player. You just can't afford to lose it there, because once he did, Conrado Forbes was through and running at the lone centre back and could just pick off the pass.
This is played over the top, but the flag is up for offside. Paco Craig leads Miami FC into Kentucky to face Josh Winder and the reigning Eastern Conference winners Louisville City FC. Don't miss the start of the new season of the USL on ESPN, Saturday, May 13th at 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. Maybe Miami starting to find a little bit of form, a big win last time out against Birmingham, who has been at the top of the East for most of the season so far. We'll see what transpires next weekend in Louisville.
Just going back to that goal, if Alex Lara is there, sorry, if Hugh Roberts is there, as opposed to Alex Lara, you get the sense that Hugh Roberts doesn't let that ball go through. I'm not knocking Alex Lara and saying he's not a good player. He's a very good player, but as a centre-back, you've got to get something of that ball if you're going to commit yourself and go to ground, and he doesn't. And again, Hugh Roberts is normally an enormous player at the back there for Monterey Bay.
That's another foul and a set piece opportunity upcoming. There's Danny Griffin back in Pittsburgh colors. By the way, on that goal, that was the first assist of the season for Kenardo Forbes, and that is assist number 56 in his USL career. Now 5 in front of Danny Barrera, who sits in second. And it's Robbie Mertz who will stand over this set piece. The in-swinger, trying to test Siaha. It's headed away. Kept alive. Shot comes on! Siaha at full stretch. Able to push it out of harm's way. A big stop from the big man.
Brilliant save from the goalkeeper, going to his left at full stretch. All 6'5" of him or thereabouts. Ball comes in, gets headed clear. And the touch and strike. Look at the strike and the power. And the positioning is just inside that post, and it's a brilliant save for the Monterey Bay stopper.
Monterey Bay able to get this away, and it'll be collected again by Jamali Waite. Here's a wet salute in the middle. His pass turned over. Now Griffin to collect in the middle again for Forbes. Maybe a stop like that can get Monterey Bay going forward. Haven't had too many chances themselves. Let's look back at that save. It was so good.
The ball headed clear, and then it gets brought down by Langston Blackstock, and he hits it so well, brings it down, puts it into his path, but the strike is rising just inside that post and at full length. What a side Anthony Siaha is. He made some excellent saves against San Jose Earthquakes, and he has had 2 clean sheets. Unfortunately, he won't get a 3rd in a row, but no fault of his. The goal that Dick was scored a little bit earlier. It's a fine save, and as you say, that can just boost everybody else in the team. But just give credit to Pittsburgh. I really thought they would struggle here against Monterey Bay. A lot of teams have come here and find it difficult to play, and that Monterey Bay have been at them. And yes, Valesky did have a couple of little half chances, but to be fair, the Riverhounds have taken their chance. They've looked solid in midfield and seem to be getting the better of the game at the moment.
A lot of chasing here for Monterey Bay. Remember, they had that chance pretty much right from the open with Valesky going through the middle. Other than that, haven't had much. Here's Forbes. Looking for the run of Blackstock out wide, and again, broken up.
Well, it's a challenge for Monterey Bay. They were down a goal against Indy 11. And they came back and got a result there. They were down against New Mexico United and came back and won by 4-2. So they know how to deal with adversity. The question is whether they can do it in this match against the Riverhounds side that's conceded 7 goals in now 8 1/4 matches. It's an impressive defensive display, as always, by Bob Lilly's team.
Although, to be fair, for Monterey Bay, they've conceded 7 first-half goals now in 9 games. No team has conceded more in the USL Championship, so I guess they know how to play from behind. They do have 1 win out of 3 when they do concede that opening goal. Trying to shake free down the far side. Donor. Touched out for a throw-in.
We haven't seen much of players like Jason Johnson, who's come in. Expect him to make a real mark. We haven't, he hasn't had an opportunity. Now's his time to get in the team. Sam Gliedel's injured. Chase Boone's injured. And players like Jason Johnson really need to take the opportunity to shine today.
That's what Frank Gallup was talking about. He said with all the injuries and the fixture congestion as well, a chance for some of this depth to really show what they're made of. Here's Forbes, advantage being played with the player down on the far side for Pittsburgh. Biasi trying to turn that corner, gets the cross away. Cleared away by Lara. Throwing up coming again for Pittsburgh.
Biasi, an impressive player coming into this lineup. He's a regular now. He got the assist for the Dikwa goal against Indy 11 in the 1-1 draw last time up. Beautiful long ball over the top, and Dikwa through. And really is settling in well, and Coach Bob Lilly talking highly of Luke Biasi.
The player down here from Monterey Bay looks to be Grant Robinson.
Doesn't look happy, which neither does Frank Gallup. It's when players normally do that, you worry. Because if something happens where you just sit down, normally it's not a good thing. His hamstring. Yeah. Yeah, that's looks like that's the end of his game today. Can't take any risk with that.
A like for like replacement, probably Max Glasser. We'll see if that indeed is who Frank Gallup calls on here. Always so tough to make a substitution like this, especially just 25 minutes in. It looks like it is Glasser that is getting some instructions.
He started the opening game of the season against Hartford, had an assist for one of those goals. Max Glasser, we saw it in the opening, a lovely cross put in for Alex Dixon, and hasn't started a game since. Only 2 appearances, a second one as a sub. If I take that back, I think he actually did start the second game as well, so he's had 2 starts, but that's about it.
Second game, a 1-0 loss against Lou City. Here's Hogan. Looking for space. Forbes lets it run through, and Forbes fires it out of play. And it will be a substitution coming, and it is indeed Max Glasser. 22-year-old, first pro season out of UC Davis.
That's a lot of changes for Monterey Bay to have to absorb. That's the 5th. There were 4 changes in the starting lineup, and generally when you make that many changes, as we've seen in cup matches, you don't quite get your rhythm for a while. It might take a little bit of time. You know, 1 change in the back with Alex Lara for Hugh Roberts, a couple of changes in midfield, James Murphy coming in. Up front, Jason Johnson coming in, Rebelar. So in all the different lines, defense, midfield, attack, you've got changes where players have to figure out where somebody else is fitting in. And maybe with time, as the match goes on, it might all settle in for Monterey Bay. Certainly Frank Gallup will be hoping so.
Well, to that point, Frank Gallup told us he wants his team to come out flying. He said he wanted to get that first goal tonight. Obviously, it's not gone according to plan. But from a Pittsburgh perspective, very similar to that game against Indy. They get an early goal. But now can they find a second, as Bob Lilly was talking to us about this week. Still ahead again, but Glasser was there.
It's that combination of either Robbie Mertz or Canado Forbes is trying to feed Dikwa in. That's their sort of front 3 almost. Dikwa is the head of it, and Mertz and Canado Forbes looking to win the ball and feed him. And everybody else doing a really good defensive job behind those 3 up front.
Johnson tried to let it run through, but it was poked away. Here's Griffin. And Biasi. Of course, Danny Griffin, a very familiar name for Pittsburgh Riverhounds fans. Now his 4th season with the club, after he was reacquired from Huntsville City in MLS Next Pro. That move just went down this week. And a foul there with Johnson going down, but 5 goals and 85 appearances in USL Championship play with Pittsburgh for Danny Griffin, the 24-year-old. Here's Glasser.
It's all very tight in there in the middle, isn't it? And certainly the Riverhounds don't give you any time on the ball, snapping away, making it very difficult for Monterey Bay to play through their lines. You know, without Sam Gleadle, Chase Boone, you're missing a couple of players who are able to turn defense into attack. So as mentioned, Jason Johnson's got to step up, Rebelar's got to step up. These are the players that Monterey Bay need to help them at this moment.
And to your point, with limited space in the middle for Monterey Bay, we were told it would be more of a midfield diamond 4, which would make it very difficult for Monterey Bay to find those players through the middle. Here's Glasser trying to turn the corner. Biasi was there defensively, and it's touched out of play.
Our crowd getting a little bit annoyed in the background there. I guess they've been used to so much success, especially with that win over San Jose Earthquakes, and we've got LAFC coming next week, so there must be a buzz around Cardinale Stadium at the moment, and they'll be hoping to see more victories. Yes, they did struggle against RGV at home last match 0-0, but they beat Indy 11 3-2 away in their previous USL match, and I think the fans are getting used to plenty of goals being scored by this Monterey Bay side.
Here comes Forbes again. And this turned over. So dangerous in transition, but it's Danny Griffin tracking back to win it back for Pittsburgh. And here's Forbes. Play it down the line for Blackstock, but off the mark. Santos. Be fair, able to win it back for Monterey Bay. What can they do with it here? Here's Glasser.
Seems to be better pressing coming from the Riverhounds. Here they are, what, 10 yards outside the box, looking for turnover ball. Whereas on the other side, Monterey Bay haven't been able to press up the side. Look at this, good pressure coming from Conrado Forbes. And yet, when Monterey Bay get in Pittsburgh Riverhounds' half, they haven't been able to high press them anywhere near as effectively.
And they come through the middle, Zwetsloot. All the way back to Siaha. Trying to turn the corner, it's a foul and a free kick. Don't forget, Paco Craig leads Miami FC into Kentucky to face Josh Winder and the reigning Eastern Conference winners Louisville City FC. Don't miss the start of a new season of the USL on ESPN Saturday, May 13th, 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. About 8 days away from that one at Lynn Family Stadium. It's turned over again. Fair's pass just too far out in front of Johnson, who commits the foul.
Fair's looking at Johnson, saying that Johnson needed to be in a better position for that. So a little bit of tension amongst the players. And a frustrating start for especially for Alex Dixon here on trying to get the ball, because it's against the team that he was at last season. You always want to impress your previous teammates and manager, but Dixon's hardly had the ball and doesn't get it there either.
Oleski plays it back. Long switch of play, trying to get Dixon on the ball. There he is. Great first touch. Fair. Blocked down by Dequa, and Albert Dequa running away. Lara coming over defensively, and this is a free kick. And it's going to be a yellow card as well. We'll see who gets this yellow card. Believe it'll be Lara.
It should be Lara. He brings Dequa down.
I think the referee was pointing and saying green was there, which is why there's no red card.
Yes, that would also make sense as well, because there were two of them. But it's not just that it's a bad ball from Green. The ball leading up to it's bad. It wasn't slick. It put Green under pressure. Then the two centre-backs combined to stop Dequa any which way they can. But the move itself, there's something lacking from Monterey Bay. And Frank Yallop said ever since the San Jose match, they've just felt that the next match, RGV, they didn't get out of the blocks, really didn't do as much as they normally did. Well, here so far, they've struggled to get that pace of their passing going. Their pressing isn't happening. It's a real frustrating first half for Monterey Bay. Of course, huge credit to the Riverhounds for making it frustrating in every which way they can. But this isn't the same side that we've seen with their free-flowing attacking football in previous games.
Of course, they are missing some crucial players, but we did say coming off that game against RGV, they were just a bit flat, and maybe that was because of the 3 games in a week, but they're going to have 3 games in a week again this week with LAFC in midweek and Open Cup. I hope Lara can continue on. It's turning into a nightmarish first half if Lara cannot, and maybe some substitutes preparing to come on there just behind Frank Yallop.
It's mostly attacking players and midfielders on the bench. Maybe Maldonado could come on. Doesn't look good for Alex Lara here at all.
Looks like Chuy Enriquez is actually preparing to come on. That looks like it's going to be the end of the night for Alex Lara. Injury-laden first 45 minutes here for Monterey Bay. And it will be Chuy Enriquez, so we'll see how Frank Yallop wants to change the look for his team. And now he only has one more substitution window to use in this game. Of course, he can still use halftime. His final 3 subs.
And he might just have to take his 3 remaining defenders and put them as a back 3. Moridona, Kai Green, and Max Glasser. And then just get the likes of Rebelar, perhaps even Dixon as wing backs. But you're right, it's a lot of chopping and changing to do from a team that's already had a lot of chopping and changing. But this is where good teams have to find solutions to problems. And let's see if Enriquez can be that solution.
Now it's a set piece opportunity for Pittsburgh from a very good spot. About 27 yards away. Zwetsloot, he's standing around it. Zwetsloot drags the shot wide. He knows he got that one all wrong.
He did rather, didn't he? That was way wide of target. Total mishit there. And interesting player, New Zealander. Spent some time with New England Revs, but before that with Werder Bremen Youth in Germany. Got a couple of caps for New Zealand under 20. So you would think some credibility and good background in his footballing youth. It didn't show in that strike, unfortunately, but maybe it will show later in the match.
Head this centrally, Rebelar. Now it's Forbes. By the looks of that, maybe Moby Ferris slid into that other center back position.
Again, doing so well up front there, Dikwa, just to win the free kicks, to slow the game down, to allow his team to push numbers forward and get good possession.
Played out wide. Blackstock trying to cut this back. It's Danny Griffin. Lifts it forward. Siaha there to punch it away. Running into Glasser, it looked like. And now can Monterey Bay get out? Enriquez tries to cut that back. It's turned over. Just one shot in this game for Monterey Bay, and only one shot, or pardon me, one touch in the opposition box. This is forward though for Dixon. Biasi came over from his right back spot to head that away.
They had some chances early on in this match, Monterey Bay, and they weren't efficient enough with them, and they've struggled to get much since then. You never know when you get chances. When they do come along, every coach will tell you the same thing. You grab them when they do, and Valesky early on really could have put his team ahead. Since then, you haven't seen anything of Valesky or Dixon or Johnson. All of them, and Rebelar, they're just struggling to create anything in attack at the moment, Monterey Bay.
Foul there in the middle. Dixon taking down Zwetsloot. Ordonez. Here's Hogan. Broken up in the middle. Rebelar trying to find Johnson. Two players go to ground, and Murphy comes away with it. Here's Glasser. Fair. Fair looking for that ball over the top. It's Valesky. Got it central, but quickly cleared away.
They do so well, Pittsburgh, in defending their lines and getting bodies behind the ball. And you've got to be fair to them. You know, 6 of their 8 games have been on the road. So this is now the 7th of 9. They've had a lot of traveling to do, some difficult matches, and they're sitting 6th in the East, having played all these away matches. So it's a very impressive start. And they just seem to know how to bed in, how to put those walls, those lines in front of you that you can't get through very easily. And as mentioned, 7 in what is now almost 8.5 matches is not.
Here's Dixon in front, and there it is! Alex Dixon scores against his former club. And just like that, Monterey Bay are back level at 1.
He's back on top of the goal scorers charts. Dikwa had it for a few minutes, and now he's taken it back from him, Alex Dixon. And just we were saying, they're really struggling to break through. He gets his moment, Alex Dixon. Brilliant 7th goal of the season. And in a match in which Monterey Bay have struggled, they've eventually got something positive. Nice play down the right-hand side there. Moridona with the ball in, just touched on by Valesky. And if he meant that, it was a fantastic pass. Have a look there. I'm assuming that he meant to play that in for Alex Dixon. Good finish, just past Jamali. Wait there, and They are back on level terms in what has been a frustrating first half, but that's why they're such a good side. They find a way to get through.
The crowd appreciating that one. And that goal is presented by Taylor Farms. Alex Dixon against his former club. The assist should go to Christian Valesky, who also scores against his former club. And this is not good news for the Riverhounds. A player down. That looks to be Nathan Dos Santos. And this would be the third injured player off if he's not able to continue. Has to feel pretty good if you're Alex Dixon, right?
Oh, absolutely. You were top of the USL goal scoring charts. Dickwood knocks you off, or goes level with you rather, and you pop up against your former side. And we all love that. You know, it's not a nasty thing. It's just if you leave a club, you love to show the club that, hey, you know, you lost something special in me as a player. And that's exactly what Alex Dixon's feeling at the moment. His former teammates are going, not Alex Dixon again. He scored a whole ton of goals for them last year, as did Russell Cicerone. And again, credit to Bob Lilly and Pittsburgh. They lose two top quality players and still are able to perform and play well. But for Bob Lilly now, just before halftime, that changes your halftime talk from we're 1-0 up and we're defending well to now we have to find a way to get back in the lead again.
Santos jogs off as we get into 4 minutes of stoppage time to close out this first half. And this game poised very well for a really fun second 45 minutes.
I tell you, I can only assume Frank Gallup is very relieved, because his team talk was not going to be a fun one at halftime. And all of a sudden, he's got a lot more positive things to talk about. His team are ending on the front foot. They've got something that's going to boost their confidence, and it's maybe a lot happier dressing room at halftime.
Glasser trying to put that ball into a dangerous area. Collected again by Fair. That is the 8th first half goal this year for Monterey Bay, which means it's exactly split down the middle. 8 in the first half, 8 in the second half, but it's the 3rd most first half goals in the USL Championship. Enriquez for Johnson. It's a run through for Donor, directing traffic. Johnson just trying to slide that in for Enriquez. Murphy keeps it alive. Midway through the minimum of 4 minutes. Dixon on the turn, goes to ground. It was last off Hogan. Corner kick, Monterey Bay. Dos Santos wants to get back on the field here, and now will come back on for the corner.
See Alex Dixon trying to turn here and just making an attempt to try and win that ball. His game is suddenly revitalized as well with that goal of his.
Here comes the corner. It's right at Jamali Waite, who squeezes it.
It's been tough on both goalkeepers. The goals they've conceded, Jamali Waite, not much he could do with Alex Dixon a few yards out, and pretty much the same for Anthony Siaha against Albert Dikwa. They left very exposed, both goalkeepers, and tried to make themselves big, but couldn't stop the ball going in the back of the net.
Zwetsloot looking to find Forbes. Forbes shot wide. Had to hurry there because Kai Green and Moby Fair were both converging.
It's a lovely ball from Zwetsloot here, and he does so well at Conrado Forbes just to put it into his pot. I thought it was a left foot shot for him. He hits it with his right foot. I thought he was more set up to strike it with his left, but either way, you don't question someone who's scored as many goals as he has, as many assists. He's the other one. He's trying to get forward when Albert Dikwa can't. Either he or Robbie Mertz tries to get into those attacking positions, and It is very much a 5-4-1 setup with just a one striker, Dikwa, and Mertz and Conrado Forbes trying to join him whenever they can.
Adjusted down by Enriquez. Move forward for Dixon, who heads it down. Enriquez now for Glasser, and back for Dixon. Here comes the cross. Just too tall for Valesky. He liked that ball, though, as Waite takes it. And he will take us to halftime. Well, this game has come to life. Albert Dikwa able to score the opener, only to be canceled out by Alex Dixon. What a first half.
Yeah, it has been a very good one for Pittsburgh Riverhounds until the equalizer. They really did well for most of it. It was a good start by Monterey Bay, a good finish with that goal by Dixon in between. Yeah, a lot of stuff that Frank Geller won't be happy with, but the bottom line is they got back on level terms. They're at home, and as they did with RGV in their last match, their fans can probably expect a lot better in the second half from Monterey Bay.
We have reached halftime here from Seaside and Cardinale Stadium, East versus West. First matchup between Pittsburgh and Monterey Bay. It's turning out to be a good one. It's 1-1 at halftime.
In 2007, a group of local business owners realized a dream by establishing First Capital Bank. We cultivate thriving communities by growing and sustaining businesses on the Central Coast. Our commitment to personalized service remains unwavering, and we continue to give back to our communities. Experience First Capital Bank.
Are you paying too much for your car insurance? Call Coast Auto Insurance to receive a free quote and see how much you could save. Coast works with over 50 different insurance companies to make sure you get the best rate for your car, motorcycle, home, or business. Coast is a local company with local people. We do vehicle registration, SR22, and insurance for Mexico. Call Coast Auto Insurance today for a free quote and see how much we can save you. Or go to coastautoinsurance.com, where your peace of mind is guaranteed.
Halftime tonight is presented by Integris Wealth Management. This inaugural match between Monterey Bay and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Well, this is just the start of a busy weekend of USL Championship action, but also a busy couple of weeks upcoming for both of these teams. And we'll start with Monterey Bay, what they have coming up. I think the biggest name that sticks out, LAFC, is next in the Open Cup.
Yeah, it's so exciting for them, and we were just chatting, saying that maybe LAFC won't put out a full-strength side, seeing how many other big games they have. So it's a great chance for Monterey Bay to get a second MLS scalp and make it through to the last 16. Then, of course, following that, at New Mexico United, not easy. Charleston Battery, another one, Charleston Battery flying high. And then two matches that maybe they can get a good return from, FC Tulsa and Loudoun United.
Yeah, so a big couple of weeks upcoming for Monterey Bay. On the other side, for Bob Lilly and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, they also have MLS opposition upcoming in New England. And Bob Lilly's talked about so much of the road games they've had, but they'll get a few home games upcoming as well.
Yeah, three of the next four will be at home in the USL. Before that, as you mentioned, the Open Cup match at New England Revolution. That's a tricky one away from home, even if the Revs do put out a few second-string players. But then three of the next four at home in the USL. They've got to pick up points. They're not easy. Birmingham Legion flying high in the East. Loudoun United doing well. Phoenix Rising literally rising now and getting better game by game. But at home, Pittsburgh Riverhounds are normally super solid.
It is halftime here from Seaside, and it is gearing up for the second 45 minutes. It is brought to you by Integris Wealth Management.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Coastal Roots Hospitality is a proud partner of the Monterey Bay Football Club. Coastal Roots Events and Catering, along with its 3 iconic restaurants, Monterey, Tarpey's, and Rio Grill, invite you to pick it up and pay it forward, where 10% of all proceeds from takeout orders are donated to various local charities. Their catering service and restaurants utilize local farms, butcheries, and ocean fresh sustainability-driven seafood to deliver unique and exemplary dining experiences. For more information, visit coastalrootshospitality.com.
Halftime is presented by Integris Wealth Management. Monterey Bay and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds going at it tonight, here to close out the night in the USL Championship. And plenty of news to go around as well, and maybe the biggest news, Richard Chaplow, his departure from Orange County.
Yeah, sad to see him go, but it's been a fall from grace after winning the USL Championship in 2021 and then 2022 really struggling, and we really hope for his sake he could have a great start to the season, but it hasn't worked out, and I guess sort of ownership have said, right, that's it, we can't wait any longer. So sad to see him go, and wish him luck and hope he pops up somewhere else and gets the same sort of success he got with Orange County in his first season.
And of course, USL Championship on ESPN upcoming. Louisville City hosting Miami FC. That is next weekend, 7 Eastern on ESPN2. And of course, our thoughts are now with Irvin Parra as his upcoming battle with cancer.
I'm pretty sure everybody around right now wants to know like why I'm not playing and whatnot. I'm battling cancer. Got diagnosed with testicular cancer, February 6th. Right away, my oncologist told me that I needed surgery. On February 13th, I did my surgery. Through the scans and everything, it looked good. So I could have returned to play. So that's why I was back in preseason, with the team and whatnot. But unfortunately, my oncologist called me again. I had to go in to get a PET scan, and so once I did the PET scan, the results came in that, cancer was spreaded. So then I had to do 3 cycles of chemotherapy, which is what I'm currently doing right now. So far, so good. I've been taking the treatment quite well. You know, there is some rainy days, just like there is some sunny days, you know. I love to be out there, you know, and even play 10, 5 minutes, you know. Sometimes, you know, life just gives you certain obstacles that you have to, you know, be patient. It's been quite difficult, to be honest with you. I mean, this is all I've ever have done in my life. The game is temporary, and for me right now, I see life a little bit different. Honestly, I have one goal, and that's to get back to 100% health. I'm pretty sure everybody wants the same. I know once I'm at 100%, I kind of showed last year what I'm about.
Good chest down, the shot. Oh, what a goal, Arvid Para! You kidding me? That's what that man can do.
You know, the t-shirts, you know, that was being given out to the players in the warm-ups. It was just something that I'm never going to forget in my life. I genuinely feel that they're playing for me, you know, since I'm not there to play for them. I'm really proud of that, you know. I'm really proud to know that I play a big role in this organization and in this team. Honestly, what I learned about myself these past few months is I didn't know I was that strong. Like I didn't know I was this strong. That's it.
In 2007, a group of local business owners realized a dream by establishing First Capital Bank. We cultivate thriving communities by growing and sustaining businesses on the Central Coast. Our commitment to personalized service remains unwavering, and we continue to give back to our communities. Experience First Capital Bank.
Coastal Roots Hospitality is a proud partner of the Monterey Bay Football Club. Coastal Roots Events and Catering, along with its 3 iconic restaurants, Monterey, Tarpe's, and Rio Grill, invite you to pick it up and pay it forward, where 10% of all proceeds from takeout orders are donated to various local charities. Their catering service and restaurants utilize local farms, butcheries, and ocean-fresh, sustainability-driven seafood to deliver unique and exemplary dining experiences. For more information, visit coastalrootshospitality.com.
Are you paying too much for your car insurance? Call Coast Auto Insurance to receive a free quote and see how much you could save. Coast works with over 50 different insurance companies to make sure you get the best rate for your car, motorcycle, home, or business. Coast is a local company with local people. We do vehicle registration, SR22, and insurance for Mexico. Call Coast Auto Insurance today for a free quote and see how much we can save you. Or go to coastautoinsurance.com, where your peace of mind is guaranteed.
Getting set for the second 45 minutes of action from Seaside, California. 1-1 between Monterey Bay and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. It's been a good one so far. Scoring got started in the 17th minute. Monterey Bay gets caught, and Pittsburgh makes them pay.
King Kenny does the damage, winning that ball in midfield, beats Alex Lara to it, sets up Albert Dikwe, slots it right through Anthony Siaha's legs. But there's where the damage was done. Brilliant ball one. Dikwe runs off his shoulder there and makes a bit of space for the ball to be played in, and a good lead for Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
And it could have been 2. Blackstock had a great chance here, but Siaha, full stretch.
Beautiful shot from Langston Blackstock there. The ball gets cleared out here, and he manages to control it with one touch and then fires that shot just going inside that post. Good save from the keeper.
And then just as we were saying how Monterey Bay had no chances at all, they go ahead and they find the equalizer.
Almost from nothing. It's a lovely little flick on from Valesky here, which I assume he meant. And Alex Dixon pounces on it, tucks it past the goalkeeper. Nice, comfortable finish beating Jamali White, and the ball initially coming in from Moridona. But they really hadn't threatened much after the first 5 minutes, but they got the crucial goal. Look at shots on target, not enough really for either side. There's been a lot of good midfield battles, good defending from Pittsburgh. But I think second half will bring us a lot more excitement within the 18-yard box.
Of course, there's been a couple of injuries for Monterey Bay in that first half, with Lara and Robinson having to go off, Glasser and Enriquez coming on. So the teams are set for this second half with the former Manchester United goalkeeper Gary Bailey. I'm Josh Easter, and thanks so much for being with us. There's the whistle, and away we go. One of 2 games in action across the league at this hour on this Cinco de Mayo Friday night. The other one being Las Vegas and Charleston. So a chance to maybe watch both of them, get a couple of screens going. A great night in the USL Championship. And a really fun one in Colorado Springs as well. El Paso has taken down the Switchbacks 3-2. There was a 2-2 draw earlier with 2 stoppage time goals between RGV and New Mexico. So the USL Championship having a very fun night here out west.
And I think that takes El Paso way up into what, 3rd position, joint, in fact tied 2nd if you want to put it that way, with Colorado Springs Switchbacks. So El Paso really are doing well this season.
And 1 sub at halftime, it is Walmer Martinez, who has come on for Jason Johnson.
It doesn't surprise me. Jason Johnson just struggled. We said it a few times first half. He needed to do more. He needed to take the opportunity to show the coach that he can be a threat, and just somehow wasn't in tune with his teammates. And it seems that it's been decided that somebody else will get the chance to try and break down that Pittsburgh defense.
Heavy touch there. Donor, though, able to recover. Pinkwa was trying to latch onto it.
By the way, expected goals first off, 0.61 for the home side, Monterey Bay, 0.48 for Pittsburgh. So both have managed a goal from more or less half a goal expected. So they're doing well in that sense. And when you think about it, Dikwa, courtesy of Conrado Forbes, taking their goal extremely well, and as did the combination between Valesky and Dixon. I do expect those figures to be high, especially for Monterey Bay. And we'll see if the second half does bring more in terms of expected goals and hopefully goals.
Of course, with the 2 injuries to that Monterey Bay back line, they've had some chopping and changing. It looks like Moby Fair has slid onto that back line now, and Max Glasser also coming on to play left back instead of Grant Robinson, who got hurt. There's Glasser on the ball, which means Frank Yallop only has 2 subs left in this game to use in 1 window. So curious to see how he'll use that, if he does, as this second half moves along. You figure he might try to, especially with that game coming up on Wednesday against LAFC. Or pardon me, that's on Tuesday.
Yep, Tuesday, and it's always a big decision amongst coaches in USL whether a run in the US Open Cup's a good thing or not, because it does take your focus away from your play in the regular season. In general, I think it's a good thing, and certainly Sac Republic would say so after their run last year. But look at them now, they're top of the league, and you wonder, well, could they have actually won the league last year if they hadn't been focused on the US Open Cup? So I don't think anyone doesn't want to progress, and I'm pretty sure Monterey Bay do, but not all coaches. I'm sure Frank Yallop would love to as well, but other coaches do sometimes take a different view of going too deep into the Open Cup. It just does take a lot of strain, especially when you're playing MLS sides. But if you ask the Monterey Bay players, they're saying, we've got all the energy in the world, bring on LAFC.
Potentially the CONCACAF Champions League winners. Get to that in a minute, though, as Murphy stands over a set piece. Murphy couldn't get it by the first man. I think that was Griffin lunging for that header. Now Forbes calmly wins the throw-in. Turned over. Enriquez, an extra touch to find space. Now Donor, right back for Chuy Enriquez. It's Donor again. And Monterey Bay will elect to keep it with Green. And a floated ball forward. Donor. He will win a corner kick out of this. Well done there by Maury Donor.
He's always a threat down that right-hand side, Maury Donor, but it's amazing to see Jesus Enriquez has fitted into more of that attacking role. As you quite rightly say, Moby Fair has dropped to a centre-back, but sometimes comes out of that centre-back position with the ball. So a lot of rejigging been going on in that Monterey Bay side, and they seem to have coped quite well.
Here's Murphy. Heads go up, and I think that was a bit of an early jump. I think the referee's going to stop this. Whoever went up for that header, I think clashed heads there with Biasi, and Biasi slow to get back to his feet here, but okay to continue on. Referee just cautious with those head injuries.
I think it might have been Moby Fair. Couldn't quite see, but he went up for the header and then rushed back to his centre-back position. But again, it just shows you the commitment the players put in. If anyone at home questions players throughout the USL and, of course, in all the leagues, they put their head in, they risk all sorts of injury, and they put their bodies on the line week in and week out, these players.
Monterey Bay will get it right back on the drop ball. Here's Glasser, and now Murphy. Martinez trying to slide that ahead and just couldn't do so. Bob Lilly pointed out to us that his team needed to slow Monterey Bay down in transition here tonight. Wouldn't necessarily say that goal came in transition, but it did come quick for Monterey Bay when they got on the ball, and maybe a chance now for Pittsburgh to go quickly up the other way. Hogan will slow it down for Zwetsloot. Here's Mertz. Space to work out wide. Trying to cut this back. Options to pick out in the middle. It's Dikwa! And it wasn't far away, just lunging in at that near post. Couldn't direct it on frame.
Some great build-up work there from Pittsburgh Riverhounds, especially on the right-hand side, getting in the box, getting that cross in. And as you say, Dick, we're just trying to head it into that far post area. Just couldn't quite direct it past Anthony Siaha. But good build-up. Once again, they can threaten Pittsburgh Riverhounds. They have some good passing. They get into that box and then try and find Dikwa as their point man. They've only lost 2 matches this season out of 10 games. Just shows they're a hard unit to beat, are the Riverhounds.
Blackstock fires this through. What a ball that was. And it's touched out of play by the goalkeeper, Siaha. And a couple of really nice sequences here.
Here's this run down the right-hand side here. Luke Biasi gets the ball into the box and just goes for Dikwa's header. It was a snap header, came very, very quickly. And then Blackstock, he doesn't just cross this, he thumps this ball across the front of the goal mouth, and very difficult for goalkeeper to get a touch, or anyone, in fact, to get a touch.
Forbes, high lofted balls. Zwetsloot was up for it, and nothing really doing on the header. Well, Paco Craig leads Miami FC into Kentucky to face Josh Winder and the reigning Eastern Conference winners Louisville City. Don't miss the start of the new season of the USL on ESPN, Saturday, May 13th, 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. Coming up next Saturday night. Blackstock looking for space in field, and return ball off the mark.
Back to that cross that Blackstock put in with so much pace and power. It's it's a fantastic cross in the sense that defenders haven't got time to deal with it. And all it just needs is an attacker to time their run perfectly, and it's a side foot into the back of the net. As it turns out, none of the attackers could read the shot either, but impressive from Blackstock, as was his shot in the first half, which had a lot of power behind it and forced a good save from Siaha.
Biasi trying to turn the corner again, and that's a penalty. Max Glasser gets caught, and Pittsburgh a chance to go to the spot and regain the lead.
Luke Biasi, absolutely brilliant. He just had a moment down that right-hand side where he beat the defenders and got that cross into Albert Dikwa, and this time again just tempts Glasser into a tackle that he shouldn't really be making once he goes inside the box. There, you can't go for the ball. You've got to leave him alone. It's a danger. If you don't get it 100% right, it's going to be a penalty, and he makes contact. For me, it's a penalty, no question. Kai Green just thumps it into the head of Luke Biasi, but I think Biasi wasn't bothered. Once he heard the whistle, he knew he'd won the penalty. Now Dikwa to go level again with Alex Dixon at the top of the goal scorers charts.
It's the battle within the game. Siaha's made one big save tonight. Can he keep Dikwa out once again? First big moment of this second half. It's Albert Dikwa for Pittsburgh, and it's saved! Siaha down to his left! Time and time again, big save after big save for the big man!
Brilliant save from the goalkeeper, guessed right. Dikwa took his time making the penalty. He sort of got up, walked up very slowly. The goalkeeper just bided his time. The yellow card coming out. And such a good save, and such an important save to keep it at 1-1. By the way, Nuno Santos not happy with his yellow card, but have a look at the keeper, throws himself then. And his manager, Frank Yellop, giving him so much praise for the way he's played the last couple of games, the clean sheets, and there again, another fantastic save to get onto that ball. You can see Kai Green jumps up and congratulates him, and Frank Yellop gets off the bench as well to add his feelings, and the goalkeeper absolutely pumped up and in great form at the moment.
And Dos Santos, he picked up that yellow card, and he is still down. He was down in that first half as well.
You can hear the crowd still cheering in the background for the penalty save, and you just wonder now whether that's the inspiration for Monterey Bay to start pushing forward.
I think Bob Lilly may have picked up a yellow card through that whole sequence as well. And it looks like Mark Ibarra is preparing to come on here. It will indeed be the sub, and it's the end of the night for Nathan Dos Santos. Second time that he's pulled up injured. It is Ibarra who will come onto the field. 24-year-old out of the University of Michigan. His second season with the Riverhounds. It's one of those few changes tonight for Bob Lilly in Pittsburgh, and Bob Lilly still pleading his case with Corbin May. One of the assistants also still talking with the fourth official. Now it's Murphy's turn to stand over this set piece. Murphy just didn't get enough depth on it. And now you know Dikwa was going to want to find that second goal in a different fashion.
It was a poor penalty to give away, and I'm sure Max Glasser is delighted with his goalkeeper making that save. It just gets him off the hook. Once a player passes you in the box, you can't be lunging in unless you're 100% sure of getting the ball. And it's a tough one for Pittsburgh because that would have put them in a very, very good lead. It would have forced Monterey Bay to have to come at them, and they could have looked to pick them off on the counter with Dikwa. But right now at 1-1, it's a really close game.
Donor striding forward. Cuts it back, Martinez. Ross lofted in, Valesky. Well, watch this bounce out of play.
And Martinez coming on with some fresh set of legs there, as is Jesus Enriquez, and looking to revitalize Monterey Bay, who for most of the first half just couldn't get out of first gear. But with this crowd behind them, you just sense that maybe, and that penalty save, that maybe the passions are coming back for the team in blue and that they could go on and get something more out of this game. And we said that never write off the Riverhounds, especially with King Kenny and Dikwa up front.
Foul there against Griffin. These two teams, there are links obviously between these two with former players, but it's the first time these two teams have played. We're getting a fiery matchup between these two with still 30 minutes to go. Both really want a win here. We mentioned coming into the night, both teams were sitting in 6th place in their respective conferences, wanting to continue to move up those standings. Both teams maybe feel like they deserve to do so as well based on some of their play this year. That's another foul as Dixon goes down this time. Referee will keep the cards in his pocket for now.
And if you're Monterey Bay, you've got some tough matches coming up. Not only are they coming quickly, but besides LAFC, New Mexico away, Charleston Battery away. Those are some tough matches, and you would therefore look at a home game and say, well, they really need to get the 3 points tonight. Otherwise, they could find themselves slipping down the table. For Pittsburgh, they've got a whole bunch of home games coming up, so even if they only got a draw from this, I think they would consider it a good point and then head back home. Of course, they've got the Open Cup match away against New England, but then got Birmingham at home, Las Vegas at home, and Loudon away, which is not too far to travel.
And to the point we were talking about earlier, you don't want to have to be chasing points. You can get out to a good start in this season and try to maintain that. Only help you later on. Here's Mertz for Griffin. Now it's Dixon. He has it taken off his foot. Here comes Pittsburgh again as this is fired in. Green able to head it clear. Griffin keeps it moving. And Monterey Bay can take this out with Martinez.
They made some ground, Monterey Bay. That was just a big kick down the line in the hope of relieving some pressure. And Jamali Waits come over and just cleared it into the crowd. So at least it gives Monterey Bay a chance to push some numbers up, put some pressure on the Riverhounds.
Referee is going to stop play for a moment. A player down again for Monterey Bay. And this is not the player they want down. They don't want anybody down, but especially the league leading goal scorer in Alex Dixon.
He's taken a few kicks in the last one. When he went down, he wasn't happy at all. Looks like it's affected him. They've really made a whole bunch of changes, Monterey Bay. I think they might be calling Frank Yellop up to come and play just now if they get any more injuries.
52 caps for Canada, Ipswich Town. You know, he's still got something in the tank. Also, while we have a moment, congrats to Ipswich Town. They were recently promoted. I know there's a lot of ties between the USL, Rhode Island FC, Phoenix Rising, and Ipswich, and of course Frank Yallop, his time there as well. Pretty cool to see them promoted in the EFL.
There used to be a big team back in the day. The former England manager Bobby Robson was in charge around about, I think maybe just before Frank was there, maybe the same time. And they were a team that got into Europe and finished in the top 4 regularly in England, Ipswich.
Did he tell us he was recently inducted in the Hall of Fame as well for Ipswich.
You might be right.
I feel like he mentioned that at one point.
Still keeps in touch with all the great Ipswich players from the past.
Dixon was able to walk off, and I think Frank Yallop was looking for a word whether he's able to stay on or not. If he's not able to, you wonder if he wants to make 2 subs in this last window. I'm sure Dixon will try to get back on there. It's a foot race for this one. Donor wins. I think he prevents the corner kick as well.
Good play from Donor. Good pace to get the right side of that ball. He says he got a bit of a push, and he did, but he recovered to get it out for a throw-in. These are 2 teams that are teams that are used to getting results, used to winning. Pittsburgh's case, used to making the playoffs every year, so they're both pushing to try and get the 3 points. They do have a couple of players on the bench still that Monterey Bay can bring on. Simon Dawkins, you mentioned him, been out a long time, but quality player. Sean Okoli, you've seen him have some good moments for Orange County on and off last season. Both players who can come on and make an impact.
Both those players still waiting to make their 2023 debuts. Glasser put in the tough spot. Now it's played forward for Dikwa. He can't keep it. Looks like there is a substitute preparing here on the near side for Monterey Bay. Flag is up. That's offside. Looks like it. Sean Ugo Okoli is preparing to come on for Monterey Bay. We're hearing that could be it for Alex Dixon tonight. Shame his night has to end like that against his former club.
Well, he's made the impact. He scored a goal, and he's back on top of the goal scorers charts for the USL, unless Dikwa can knock one in before the end of this match. But I think it's the injuries as well. He's taken a few kicks and a few knocks, and no doubt Frank Yallop needs him for the rest of the season. So can't take too much of a risk with a player in this vein of form that Alex Dixon's in at the moment.
Maybe with one eye on Tuesday as well, but Dixon, 7th goal this season that leads the USL. He's top of the pile. And it is Ugo Okoli who will come on to make his Monterey Bay debut. Signed back on April the 20th. Most recently with Orange County, where he has spent 3 years. Also time with FC Cincinnati when they were in the USL. Austin Bold in the USL a few years ago. And now it's Mertz for Pittsburgh. Mertz trying to bring that with him. Revelar stepped in.
Good chasing back again from Monterey Bay, getting numbers, closing down the player on the ball. Working really hard, which is impressive. But Jason Johnson didn't show what he is worth in the first half. You wonder if Sean Okoli can take advantage of his chance.
Mertz heads it back centrally. Good play there by Green.
Please, Kai Green got that on target. The way he dived at that ball looked like he was trying to score for a moment, but I have seen those sort of headers go back wide of a goalkeeper and nestle in the back of the net, so relief for Kai Green that was on target. Now there's Okoli showing his strength. Needs more of that. He sort of was hot and cold for Orange County. Never really got the numbers of goals that he would have wanted. But there's another lifeline here at Monterey Bay for him.
Just building some of that depth for Monterey Bay. He scored 5 goals a season ago for Orange County. Scored 1 the year before, but scored 3 as well with Austin in that same season. His breakout season was in 2016 with Cincinnati when he scored 16 goals. But to be fair, it was a short season in 2020, and he scored 7 in 15 appearances. So, as you said, kind of up and down, but he's looking for some consistency and maybe a chance here with Monterey Bay.
Absolutely. He's got good players around him, and if they give him service, then he has every chance to prove his value. On a day when there's no Sam Gleadle, there's no Chase Boone, and as you mentioned, Jason Johnson didn't really impress. "30 years of age as well, Sean Okoli, so the clock ticking a little bit on his career, and I'm sure he's going to want these next few years to be really bumper years, special years for him to remember. And the only way you get those years is by sticking it in the back of the net.
Long throw in. 20 minutes to go. Will there be a winning goal in this one tonight? Both teams really pressing for it, it seems. Both teams with road matches in the Open Cup coming up this week. Pittsburgh will go to Foxborough to take on the Revs. And of course, Monterey Bay here at home against LAFC.
We were just thinking that LAFC draw is probably not the worst draw in the world because of their final match they've got in the championship. That's going to take a lot of their focus away. They're going to want to win that one. They have the MLS matches as well, so perhaps the Open Cup not top of their priority list. You can understand why. And if they bring a second string team here to Cardinale Stadium, it's a great opportunity for Monterey Bay to get through that round.
LAFC has played midweek games the last 2 weeks, so it'll be 3 straight weeks of the midweek fixture. Still can say you beat LAFC if you can get the job done.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who's on the field.
And before that, San Jose Earthquakes, which is Frank Yallop's former side where he was so successful. We asked him about that. I said to him, you know, what's your emotions on that? He said, you know, it's a long time since he was there. What was unusual for him is that the current set of coaches are all former players of his or people who've coached alongside him or for him. He said he found that a little bit sort of strange, but he said other than that, it's just, you know, football is normal, get on and try and win the game and move on to the next round.
I didn't realize this until he brought it up, but he drafted Luchi Gonzalez, the head coach, back in 2002. Funny how that all comes full circle. It's played down the line. It's deflected cross. Kind of awkward coming in for Kai Green, but he did get it away and out for a corner.
And it's good that he did get it away because Albert Dikwa was waiting right behind him when that ball came in. Just went off his shoulder. Have a look where Dikwa is, just waiting. If that gets past Kai Green, it's almost certainly going to hit the back of the net with Dikwa there.
Let's see what Forbes wants to do here. I'll play it short now. The ball comes in, the header's down, blocked away, and then smashed in! And guess who it is once again? Albert Dikwa scores for Pittsburgh. It's 2-1 to the Riverhounds. They regain the lead on the road.
That's a brilliant finish from Albert Dikwa. He does the dance for the second time in this match. He got it in from a very tight angle as well, but it's a set piece, a corner that comes in, not cleared by Monterey Bay. Have a look, it's taken short, the ball comes in. It's won at the near post by Ordonez. And once it's not cleared, they were in trouble. It came off Kai Green's shoulder. Not much he could do about that. And the quickest to react, not only was the quickest Albert Dikwa, but the direction to get it over the goalkeeper into the top of the net. It's a good finish. It's a great header from Ordonez, a well-played corner. And they are in the lead, and he has joined top of the goal scorers charts for the USL.
Second goal of the game, a brace for Dikwa. What a 2 years it's been for Albert Dikwa. He now is up to 18 goals. And that is already more than the 12 goals he had since he became a pro from 2017 to 2021. These last 2 years have just been a new Albert Dikwa in front of goal. Dixon off the field. He doesn't have a chance to respond now for the league lead. They might have to end this night tied, the former teammates.
Assuming Dickwood doesn't score again.
Yeah, that's true.
Anything possible at this stage. Frustration for the crowd and for the players of Monterey Bay. Moby Fair just coming up from that central back position. Tackle on Dikwa.
If I'm Dikwa, I'm letting my play do the talking tonight. 2 goals has Pittsburgh out in front.
Could have had a third with that penalty that was saved.
It's true. Pittsburgh looking for its 2nd win against the Western Conference so far this year. 1-2 so far. Well, losses against Colorado Springs and El Paso. They did beat RGV. This ball driven forward. Dikwa's there, and Dikwa just can't finish it off. Siaha steps up and now tries to release Ugo Akoli. It's calmly headed back to Jamali Waite.
Once again, Albert Dikwa's first touch was nearly perfect there. Right position, beautiful ball played into him, but he's getting in great positions. He's getting on the end of things. Just couldn't quite bring it down and finish it off. As you say, what an incredible season. And they're in the live table now. The Riverhounds are 4th in the East, just a point behind Lou City in 3rd spot. That's assuming this result holds. Of course, it is the live table.
There is still no score in that Vegas-Charleston game. Interesting weekend for Las Vegas Lights. Their first home game tonight, and they also play on Sunday against San Antonio. Here's Valesky, who moves it out wide. Glasser gets the cross away. Little flicked header, bouncing towards the end line and taken by Jamali Waite. And a player down here for Pittsburgh.
Sean Okoli with the header there, trying to get something on it, just can't direct it towards goal. That's what he brings you. He's a big unit up front. Sean Okoli, if you get service into him, you can get on the end of it. But with him and Valesky, you've got one front post, one back post. That causes extra problems for the defenders of Pittsburgh.
Langston Blackstock will be coming off. So will Robbie Mertz. It'll be Michael DeShields and Edward Kizza coming on. Strong game for Blackstock. He was denied of a worldy goal in that first half on a great save by Siaha. Mertz also left his mark on this game. So now it's Kizza and DeShields to come on. DeShields, who spent last year with New England Revolution 2. Edward Kizza also came over on loan from New England last year. So technically his 2nd season with the Riverhounds. Forward for Martinez, and touchdown of play. Is there a response left for Monterey Bay? Can't say they've had too many chances either in this second half, but really only took them 1 chance in the first half to find that goal.
Yeah, I mean, players like Slam Gleedle, Chase Boone, very, very difficult players to replace. Quite seen enough from their replacements. Even Rebelon midfield hasn't been able to get forward and create too much. Jason Johnson first half, not much from him. Even Valesky himself, yes, he got the flick on for Dixon. We haven't seen much else from him, and he's been in great form. Last couple of games he's had one-on-ones with the keeper, chances to score. He has scored in most of those games anyway. Such a good run that he's had, and yet here today it's been very quiet by his high standards. Scored against San Jose and scored against Indy 11. You can see he's been on a bit of a run.
Quick pass passing here. Pittsburgh moving forward. Biasi just to loft it forward. It's broken up. Here's Walmer Martinez. Comes out wide for Okoli. Enriquez for Glasser. All the way through for Jamali Waite. Don't forget, next Saturday night, the return of USL on ESPN. Will be Miami FC on the road to take on Louisville City. Don't miss it, 7 Eastern time on ESPN2. Mike Watts, Devin Kerr will have it for you. Here's Biasi.
We said when Dikwa had his penalty saved by Anthony Siaha that he would need maybe to do something to avoid the disappointment. Well, he has with that goal, because if they get the win, everyone's going to forget about the penalty and just focus on the fact that Dikwa scored 2 goals to give them a 2-1 win.
Maybe there's time for another one for Dikwa. It'll be a throw-in deep in that corner.
And conversely, it's frustrating for Anthony Siaha when you make a save like that. You want it to be a save that at least keeps a draw, maybe even gets you a win.
Svetslut will be coming off. It's Joey Farrell coming on. That's the last sub of the night. Defensive-minded substitution here for Pittsburgh. Very experienced Joey Farrell, all that time with Phoenix, 114 appearances for Rising. Flag goes up for offside onto Shields. Monterey Bay trying to keep that 6-game unbeaten run going in all competitions.
But if they did, if this result does stay like this, it'll be a draw at home against RGV, a loss at home to Pittsburgh. That's 1 point from 6 potential on your home ground. That would be a real bump in the road for Frank Yallop and his team that at times this season have looked so fantastic going forward and so exciting for the fans. And it would certainly see them slip a little bit in the table, given that they might still be ahead of Phoenix, but they're 2 points ahead. Phoenix Rising have 2 games in hand, so they could leapfrog them, as could New Mexico and Oakland Roots if they win their games in hand.
Coming from behind, something Monterey Bay did against Indy 11. They were down 2-1 in that game. Ended up winning it 3-2 with 2 goals in 5 minutes from Valesky and Yoseke. Contact there on the far side. It's a throw-in going Monterey Bay's direction.
You would think with Valesky and Okoli in the box, 2 big target men, you just want to get a long ball in. Maybe that's what they're doing. Just get it to the big guys and see if they can't win something in the air.
Ball lasered in and immediately headed clear. Back for Murphy. Here's Donor. Okoli circling.
do find it strange that with 5 minutes to go, the focus is on possession-based football. You haven't got long. Get it in the box. Get it to the big guys. You know, 5 minutes time, the whistle's likely to blow. If this is earlier in the game, fully understand why you want to build up slowly and meticulously, but I just think you get wide, whip it in. Here you go.
Fall for Valesky. Tries to move it along. Chance here. It's blocked down and out of play. Corner kick coming. Walmer Martinez crashing in.
It was nearly a chance there. They got the ball in the danger area. Came through to Valesky. He gets it to Walmer Martinez. And if he could just have found someone, Martinez, his cross got well blocked, so it's not anything against Martinez. But if that gets through, they've got a great chance of equalizing.
It's Murphy to deliver. The in-swinger punched away. Monterey Bay will keep it. Donor. For Moby Fair. Infield, Enriquez. Lofted forward towards the end line. Rebelar right in front. Stabbed clear. Throw-in.
That's better. Getting ball into the box now, knocking it wide, whipping it in first time. That's what you need to do when you've got two big men in the box.
Here's Glasser. Martinez has to play this through the channel. It's blocked away. Green did just enough to fend off Dikwa.
As usual, Pittsburgh, always a difficult team to break down. Once again, they don't offer much here for Monterey Bay to work with.
Play this through the lines. Going down is Rebelar. Referee says play on, and Hogan leads the break, the big center back. Dikwa. Zibara in the middle. Tough pass to handle, and he commits the foul. Monterey Bay want to go quick here.
Look again on the edge of the box here. This is the foul that wasn't given and allowed the breakaway, and that's the foul that was given.
In this second half for Monterey Bay, just one shot, expected goals at .04. And the flag is up for offside. Pittsburgh is now up to 10 total shots in this game, with 4 of them on target.
Ten goals scored, 8 conceded. Bob Lilly's side gets them so tight at the back. There's that stat: in 172 matches under Bob Lilly, Pittsburgh, they've conceded .94 goals per game. It's under a goal a game. And that's just not luck. That's constant planning and preparation and finding the right players to defend. And Frank Gallup speaking very highly of Bob Lilly's success, and vice versa. Bob Lilly, great respect for what Frank Gallup's achieved, but he just year after year, even when he loses top-class players, still manages to create a team that is so hard to break down.
Donor into the corner. The 90th minute tonight from Seaside. Monterey Bay trying to avoid defeat here at home.
But again, just to make the point from Monterey Bay, 4 changes to the team through injuries. 2 changes in the first half, players that had to come off. So it's a lot of moving parts. Looking at Moby Fair, had to drop from defense. from the midfield into defense to replace Alex Lara, who was in fact replacing Hugh Roberts. So it has been a challenging game in that sense. But certainly Pittsburgh have made it a lot harder with their good defending and their taking opportunities. And there, the penalty save could easily have been 3-1 as well. So it's not like they've been lucky.
Trying to turn the corner, pass in front, score! Monterey Bay equalizes! It's Christian Valesky, and it's 2-2!
Once again, Valesky scores in the dying minutes, just when you're talking about Monterey Bay. Maybe they just didn't quite have it. Well, they find a way to get it, and this guy's been scoring goals game after game. Valesky, he's got 5 in the last 6, now it's 6 in the last 7, but good work from Adrian Rebellard there. And we haven't seen much of him, and did ask for more, but that's one incisive moment. Brilliant bit of play from Rebellard, wins the ball, gets into the box, finds Valesky, who smashes it into the back of the net. And once again, just when you think Monterey Bay are out, they pop up and pull one back. Absolutely fantastic game here. Credit to both sides for the way they're playing. And here we've still got a couple of minutes left.
Who knows what we're getting for the rest of this one in the last 3 minutes. Valesky scores against his former club in Pittsburgh and also against his former coach as well at 2 different stops, Rochester and Pittsburgh.
It can't be nice for Bob Lilly to see both his ex-players score against him. Well, that's life in the football game. But it's amazing. Just as we came to the closing part of the first half, they pop up with a goal through Alex Dixon. And now again, just when you think that maybe the 3 points have slipped out of their hands, again, they find a way to drag themselves back in this match.
Glasser down the line, Donor. Could they go on and win it? Anything now you feel would almost be a golden goal. Headed away, Valesky trying to position himself to keep it. There's Green, who will move it off for Martinez. Gets it right back from Enriquez. Glasser. One switch of play, it's Martinez. Walmer Martinez trying to come in. Good work by DeShields. Conversion rate, no doubt, is going in the way of Monterey Bay tonight. 2 goals on 4 shots.
Which is a point actually that Bob Lilly made when we're talking about what the dangers of Monterey Bay. He says they score goals. The 4 they scored against New Mexico came from 8 shots, not 8 shots on target, 8 shots. He said, who does that? He said, this team, they do really finish off what chances come their way. Well, they've done it again tonight.
2 shots on target, 2 goals.
Wow.
Into the final minute. What has been a thrilling match here tonight at Cardinale Stadium. The first ever matchup between these 2 sides. Maybe we'll get a return game next year in Pittsburgh. Play this in behind. Glasser will have to put it out for a throw-in. Maybe there's one last chance in this game for Pittsburgh. Ibarra for Biasi. Biasi, Luke Biasi! A big collision there. As he blasts it over the bar, that might be the last chance of this match.
Opened up for him so beautifully, Luke Biasi. He really has had an impact on this match. Very impressed with what he's been able to do. But here, drives into the box. Somehow gets allowed. Rebellard sort of allows him to come inside and open up his angle. And the shot, unfortunately for him, was off target.
And that is all. It's 2 goals apiece. A dramatic comeback at the end for Monterey Bay with a stoppage time equalizer. Bob Lilly and Frank Yallop sides will share the points, 2-2.
Wow, amazing game. Credit to both sides. They might feel, Pittsburgh Riverhounds, that they had the penalty. It could have been a hat-trick for Dikwa, and they could have walked away with the points. They must have felt 5 minutes from time that they had the 3 points. So no doubt Pittsburgh Riverhounds are feeling a bit down that they let it go, but still they've come here, they've played well, they've looked sharp in attack, defended well, and they're just former player, former coach saying to Alex Dixon, well done. Top of the goal scorers charts as it stands, and two good teams who just slugged it out here today and thoroughly enjoyed this match.
We'll come back and wrap things up here from Seaside and Cardinale Stadium. But what a game this was. It finishes at full time. Monterey Bay 2, Pittsburgh Riverhounds 2. Stay with us.
Coastal Roots Hospitality is a proud partner of the Monterey Bay Football Club. Coastal Roots Events and Catering, along with its 3 iconic restaurants, Monterey, Tarpe's, and Rio Grill, invite you to pick it up and pay it forward, where 10% of all proceeds from takeout orders are donated to various local charities. Their catering service and restaurants utilize local farms, butcheries, and ocean fresh sustainability-driven seafood to deliver unique and exemplary dining experiences. For more information, visit coastalrootshospitality.com.
Full time from Cardinale Stadium. These fans hitting the exits. Might feel like a win after they came back like they did. As we'll look back at this second half. Team talk from Bob Lilly. A lot of long faces, it looks like, there on the faces of those players. But it came in the second half 1-1, and then penalty. Biasi draws it.
Fantastic run by Luke Biasi. Glasser attempted to bring him down upstairs Dikwa, but it's Anthony Siaha with a fantastic save going to his left in a crucial moment. Now that we know the final score, I'm sure that Dikwa will look back and think, hell, if I'd have got that, I'd get my hat trick, we win. But nonetheless, good save from the goalkeeper. This ball gets whipped in. Ordonez with a header comes off Kai Green's shoulder. Quick to react, and like lightning quick, Albert Dikwa, and what a finish. Takes it right above Anthony Siaha. But look, Ordonez does the damage initially, and then Dikwa pounces on it, and you're thinking, well done. Pittsburgh Riverhounds are in a strong position, but they kept coming back, Monterey Bay. They kept trying to find a way through, and eventually, as the match was wrapping up, and it was Adrian Rebellard does so well here to take the ball off Patrick Hogan's foot, gets it in to Valesky, and whips it in well. Valesky just ahead of his marker, Mike DeShiel, sticks it in the back of the net. Valesky scores yet again. I think that's his 6th in 7 matches. So he really is on form, as is Alex Dixon, as is Albert Dikwa. I think we were treated to some really good strikers here tonight.
That was a good one. 3 games have gone final tonight in the USL Championship. We have 3 stoppage time goals in all 3 of the games. So just a great night of action. Any final thoughts here?
Well, the Union, 2 shots on target, 2 goals is not too bad. Likewise for Pittsburgh, 2 goals from 4 shots on target, not bad. I think you can take positives. I'm sure Riverhounds will be a bit down that they conceded in the dying moments, but it's still a very good point on the road at a tough place to come to, Cardinale Stadium. And the Union now 7 matches unbeaten going into the LAFC match on Tuesday night. So good luck there to Monterey Bay FC Union.
And of course, Pittsburgh will go all the way cross country to take on the New England Revolution in the Open Cup. But here tonight, back and forth we went. These teams traded goals until the very end. And in the end, it finishes 2 apiece. For our entire crew, broadcast partner Gary Bailey, I'm Josh Eastern saying so long from Seaside, where it finishes Monterey Bay 2, Pittsburgh 2. Good night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.